Splash. Splishy splash. Do that again. And you didn't have to pay anyone extra for that.
No, that's my free drummer. Yeah.
First on a G tuning.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Yeah, basically from a standard tuning, you're going to drop both your E's to D's like we did before. And so start with the thickest string. You got a D. Then we can take the A down to a G, the whole step. And then you got your D's the same. And then your G also stays the same. And your B stays the same.
Okay.
So what we've done there is change those two, and then we drop this also to a D. And that puts you in an open G.
So when you strum that open, you just got to straight up just the notes of a G major chord?
Exactly, that's a G major chord. And that's probably why it's the most popular one, because you change the least amount of strings to get there.
Cool.
So,
And then also, you're playing an open G, but the root's not on that top.
and that makes it interesting.
Deep string,
It makes
right?
it different from open D in a couple ways because of that, when you
And-
get into technique. And
Right, and so like for slide guitar and like traditional blues, it's a real popular. Maybe you know this, was this tuning more popular than standard tuning, like back when guitar was first coming about, do you think?
For some cultures, the Americans probably not so much,
Yeah.
but the Hawaiians, I think, really changed that.
Oh, like slack key.
Exactly. When they
Right.
brought that to the mainland, it took over in blues for sure, and became real prominent. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so one more time, just the notes real quick.
Okay, we got
for
a
me.
from the thick here. We got to drop down to a D,
D.
whole step down D, taking our A all the way down to a G,
G.
D,
D again, yeah.
G, B,
B.
and D.
Okay. So then when we're talking about, let's just talk about the traditional blues thing, right? You've got the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord.
Yeah, we got a 1,
Which
4,
would be,
5.
and if you're talking about blues, you could say G or a G7 chord.
Sure.
The 4 chord would be a C7 chord or some kind of C chord.
Yep.
And then you got the D chord would be the 5 chord. So how do you go about like just the most basic starting point for those three,
Okay.
like the 1, 4, 5?
Yeah. So basically, when you're in this tuning, you got your 1 right there. So that's your most basic
that's
one.
cool.
But playing that with all the open strings sometimes can be a little noisy. So what's nice to do is discover other ones. So here, there's a nice one right there with your on the 3rd fret. It's like a 7th chord, like you said.
G7, yeah.
Exactly. So, and then your 4 chord, the easiest way to get to it, and which most people know, especially if you're playing with the bottleneck, is you slide up to the 5th fret. But another great thing to do, since we're talking about a C, in G tuning, it's actually a C chord. Same shape,
Oh, that's
just a C chord. So we got our 1, now our 4.
Nice.
Okay, so if you already know how to play the C, then you have that. And then the simple way again would be for the 5 chord to slide up to the 7th fret, which we've heard a million times. But a cool way to do that is with this B shape in the first position. It's the B
I'm
minor
learning, I'm
setting.
learning all kinds of stuff right now.
It's a fun little way. So now you know 2 positions of the 1, 4, 5. So you got 1, 4, 5 that way,
Uh-huh.
or we got it this way. So those are cool.
That sounds super cool. And so, like, your style is you do the, like a Travis picking thing, or not really?
It's similar to that, I guess. I think that yeah,
You play like
there's
a
various names
bass
for it.
line.
Various names for it, and that's it. Yeah, so it is similar to that, and you can play with your thumb, doing the bass line, and then melody
Kind
with
of
your fingers.
claw and do all these
Various
different
techniques.
fancy words that
Pinching.
sound like action moves in a
That's right.
martial arts movie. But why don't you just play the little bass line that you do? Like,
Well,
it might be hard to break it down that way, but maybe just do like some ideas off just the 1 chord.
Yeah, so we'll be avoiding this D for the most part. It's not bad to hit it necessarily, but a good way to start with a nice little 1 groove is with the G string and the D string right here. So you can kind of just rock it like in this 1. Now if you hit that D, you see it's not a big problem.
Right.
Now we'll go 4. Back to the 1. And then that's just a little 1, 4, 5 there in the first position.
Nice. And so you were just combining those more. I mean, there were some other things in there. because you're playing, but
Getting the big,
you
getting the
had
groove going.
You had the open G chord, you had that other G chord you taught, you had the dual that, right? But then we also have I'm just refreshing my own memory here, the 5th fret slide up for the 4 chord.
Yeah, let's do that for a second. Hear how different it sounds.
As well as the 7th fret for the 5 chord.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
Okay.
And doing that also, you can know that this is kind of staying on your 1 there. That is symbolic of the
What were you
1.
doing? Your side
Just this
fret?
note here.
Ah.
It will be,
Right.
that's a good way to stay on your 1. It's kind of similar to like a Robert Johnson, like a walking blues.
Sweet. Now, when you go to the 4 chord and the 5 chord that you were playing as shapes,
Yeah.
what are the like bass drones for that?
Yeah, well, basically, you're gonna want to definitely hit this note, and this note. This is your kind of color note there, and then you want to hit the notes that you're fingering, for sure, and then the open notes also work well with it. So it's kind of a nice, And I like to hit this note, kind of a little transition thing to get back to the 1. Just a little turnaround lick there,
Nice.
and then on this chord. Mostly just want to hit this note, those 2 notes there. So you can also hit this note. So it's just that's also a 1.
Well, yeah, and one thing I thought of too that you didn't do yet, and I'm not a side player, is sign up to the 12th fret,
And that's
right, for the root.
yeah, that's also something that you really hear a lot.
Or is it the, yeah.
All right. Yeah, that 12 is really popular, and that's a fun one. You can really get that
How'd
thing
you
winding.
create that harmonica sound that was going on?
Oh yeah, that I don't know.
No, it's magic, man. That's we can't give that one away. But
That's right.
cool, man. That was I think all really interesting and helpful. And
Yeah, that's-
why don't you maybe play us out with a tune that's
Yeah, get you a little
obviously in
jam
that-
going. All right, let's go to 145
in
in,
that vibe. Yeah, why
G.
not?
It's really
Why
fun to
not?
improvise in,
Why not?
We'll do it for the first time.
Enjoy.
Guitar Jam's original.
Yes.
Let's go here. Whoa.
Ooh, splash. Splishy splash. Do that again. And you didn't have to pay anyone extra for that.
No, that's my free drummer.